Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to another Level Up with Aaron video. Sorry it's been so long between my last couple videos. I've had issues with Reflector software not completing. I don't know if it's a Windows 10 compatibility issue or what. But anyways, today in this video I wanted to talk a little bit about alliances and some of the alliance kind of attack tactics, as well as kind of a little bit of the pros and cons of those. In the background here, you'll see I'll be assisting out my Alliance teammates. Right now, Stone is up to attack. He's one of the top 10 attackers. So you can kind of watch his strategy and get a little bit of that in the background here. But first, I'll tell you a little bit about our Alliance and how they attack. So we do kind of like a priority rapid attack system. So basically, you jump on, and you say, I've got 3 attacks, please add me. And if there's anybody that's already in line or currently taking turns rotating, then you'll be added at the end of the line, and you'll be allowed to do your attacks once the other people that have been waiting have done theirs. And by rapid fire attacks, we are talking about each player gets to use, 2 or 3 or 4 attacks, whatever they kind of have nectar saved up for, and then the next person goes. And we go on down the list. I believe this is actually a superior attack rotation in the sense that you don't have to have all the downtime that you do in the other attack groups, there's pretty much 2 different styles that are primarily used by all the top 10. The other attack style is where everybody gets in line, same thing, only they use 1 attack per turn. And then in between, each person, you have that downtime of people trying to remember whose turn it is and saying, okay, so and so, you're up. So there's a lot of like wasted time in between the attacks, and you'll kind of notice that the teams that use those, some of the big names that use them actually are Half Bloods, and I believe Rising Gods as well, where they do the 1 attack per turn. And it's great, you get a ton of helpers on your turn, but say there's 6 people or 7 people, and you've got 3,000 nectar saved up, you're going to have to wait for 7 people to go per turn, which would be, like 3 minutes average. So at least 21 minutes between use of your each 1,000 of nectar. That doesn't include stopping for helping defenses and just the time that it takes between people taking their turns. Like, okay, who's next? Who's next? Etc. There's a lot of downtime. So to get through 3,000, 4,000 nectar in a decent sized attack group, you're going to be waiting at least an hour, 2 hours, probably 2 hours to get through 4,000 nectar. Versus this rapid style attack that we pretty much have been going at all times, people are always on and using their attacks, and usually there's not a line longer than 3 or 4 people. So if there's a line of 4 people and they burn through their attacks pretty quick, like 3 minutes at a time, you're actually going to see that you only have to maybe help for about half an hour, and then you're going to get your turn at the most, and you get to be able to burn all your nectar. So you'll see that it's a lot more efficient as far as the priority system goes. Oh, I got froze out of stones there. There's been quite a bit of freezing. I don't know. I'm always having to restart my app. I'm just sitting here right by my router. It's not like I'm moving rooms, so I don't know. Some sort of bug issues. But back on topic. So obviously the main goal of alliances is helping each other out. They're great for socializing as well, and some alliances are real social and not that big on assisting and helping. Right now I'm in Dream Team, and we're definitely very active, and we're always helping, and people are always battling, so there's always action going on. And like I said, with that attack rotation of rapid fire, it works out really well. The only thing that we might be lacking on a little bit in some other alliances to make a priority or defense. But usually, I see it as offense should always be the priority, because not only do you get gold, but you get stone, and you only have a limited amount of nectar. So in my mind, your offensive attacks should always take precedence over the defense. If you spot it in between your turns, and you're like, okay, everybody help defense, and then we got the whole group that's helping out jumps over and defends. that's great. But if people start splitting up, or everybody goes into a defense and somebody else thinks it's their turn, then that actually hurts the attacker, which I definitely think is more of a negative, than losing a defense isn't really that big of a deal. Besides, your attack rating and your defensive rating are separate. So, you want to try and keep your attack rating up because that's how you're going to get more loot when you attack. The higher the rating, the more loot the bases you're going to see. So, let me talk about some of the other styles. A lot of other people just kind of do like a first come first serve, and it's just a free for all. Whoever's up, and you kind of just pick and choose who you want to help out. And, that's great for casual players because maybe they have real limited time and they don't have time to sit on the game for 30 minutes at a time. So, those type of alliances are pretty great, but usually those styles you won't see in the top 10 alliances because, just having, that help isn't a guarantee. And when you get to the higher trophy ratings, the help makes a huge difference. So most of the time, top 10, top 20, even top 50 probably are all using some sort of organization to get their attacks going and get the people assisting and helping. That way they can start climbing up the trophy ratings versus just a free for all. I'm going to get on and hope some people help me out. And if they do, great. If they don't, no biggie. Keep in mind though, once you do get used to it or you're in a group that helps you and you get a lot of assists, your trophies are going to climb, and then eventually you're going to hit a point where even your easies are going to be really tough matchups for you to win. So, I don't worry too much about losing on attack. I'll end it if there's like 8 helpers and I can tell it's already going to be a loss, no big deal. I mean, I'm just worried about loot, for the most part, and being efficient. I don't want to waste people's time if they're helping me out and I know it's going to be a loss. I'm not going to try to drag out, a 4-minute loss. I'll just end it early. I'll show you kind of an example of that. And here's a fail on my part. I had 8 helpers and I still managed to fail on this base. So you can see, and actually, I think I used his. I've used his base as actually the kind of like a role model for mine. It's very similar to this base, and I failed on this base. So I'm going to kind of speed it up so you can see how I failed. Basically, his Afro Monument like killed me. So I had 8 assisters on this one, and all of my assisters got turned against me pretty much. So I got massively like overrun as this battle goes on, and I should have zerged in and charged in and finished off his Afro temple down there, or Afro monument, but I didn't, and then I ended up getting walloped by all of these extra ads, and that was a bad move on my part. Even with 8 assisters, if you've got a well-placed Afro monument or you don't take it out, then all the assisters in the world won't matter. So that's a note for people that are having assisters. You want to take out the priority targets if you got a lot of assisters. Those priority targets are Afro first and foremost, especially if it's heavily upgraded, and then second would be the Apollo monument. Those 2 monuments eat your helpers alive, or they turn them against you. So those are the top 2 priority monuments, and if you have a lot of helpers, those should be top priority attacks targets as well. So here you can see, like, yeah, it just got ugly pretty quick, and I can already tell, like, I'm getting chased by these mobs. When you're dropping help too, it's just a note that your number one important role as an assister is to keep the gods alive. So I see a lot of people not doing it, but if you can drop archers right around your gods or drop archers to pull the giant mob off your gods, you're doing the best help. Don't worry about like nickel and diming buildings with the gods. The number one priority is to keep the gods alive, keep aggro off the gods. So in this one with the Afro Temple, I mean, nobody could help me anyways because that Afro Monument was turning all of the helper troops against me anyways. So I think I even drew this one out. It was already a loss at this point. I know I was already contemplating. I was just trying to rack up a few more, loot because for every building you take out, you actually get loot. So it's worth it to try and get a few more buildings because you'll get more loot. So as you can see there, I got pretty crappy loot and got overrun. And look at there it is right there. It spells it out for you. The Afro Monument did 266,000 damage to me. So pretty epic. Well, that's 10 minutes. I'm going to wrap this video up. I'm going to do another video on tips and tricks for assisting and how to best assist your alliance teammates and what the priorities are when you're assisting. I touched on a little bit in this video, but go into greater detail in another video. Thanks for tuning in and keep leveling up.